Well, good morning, everybody. It's Leanne Greff with today's live. Every Tuesday, 11 a.m., I host a free class featuring techniques, fun folds, all using Stampin' Up products. So let me know you're here. When I get my laptop synced up here, we will. Oh, I think I got it. Oops, got to turn the sound off. So we don't have competing. Okay, we're live and I have really cool stuff to share today. So it is, featuring today I'm going to feature our hybrid embossing folder and some celebration products, and also at the same time 2 fun fold cards, which I love doing, and I know a lot of you do too. Good morning, everybody. Hi, welcome, and thank you for spending your part of your morning with me. And if you're watching later on YouTube or Facebook, these are always recorded and added to my YouTube channel, so you can watch them at your leisure or repeat. So all right, so celebration is on. We are in the first week of celebration. It runs through February, and this is where you can earn free products with your orders from Stampin' Up. Lots of awesome products in here. If you haven't seen my Zoom catalog tour, I did post it to both Facebook and my YouTube channel. So I've heard some really good feedback on them and on the video, that people have found a lot of information that they didn't know from the catalog. So hopefully you will. It's a long video, but you can always fast forward. But I go through the catalog, not quite page by page, but point out a lot of things, and I share a lot of samples that I may not have shared or will share on my blog or on Facebook, because they were swaps from other people. So yeah, lots of things, and I may use some of those as fodder for my Facebook Lives, which you will see today. I had one card, a fun fold card, that I'm going to do today. So, okay, celebration, new catalog, all starting in January. I also do have a paper share happening. Now this is, I believe, 48 sheets here from the spring catalog. You get 1 sheet of every paper in there in 6x6 size if you order a single share. And I'm throwing in 1 sheet of each of the celebration papers as well. So you will get a sampling of all of our papers in this share. And it is $25 for long distance and $18 for locals. So I finished 4. I'm on my 5th share. So I need 8 people to fill, and then I order the product. So if you want one, let me know. I also include a list of colors for each of the papers in here. So that's happening, my designer paper share. I also wanted to talk about, let's see, my ordering special. Orders over $55. Of course, you get a free celebration choice, and I'm gifting a pack of the Hearts and Flowers epoxy gems. So they are really nice and flat, really cute and fun. So that's my gift for January orders. And I do want to talk about celebration and Paper Pumpkin really quick. So Paper Pumpkin has, they have announced the 3 next months, January, February, and March, of their themes and what they are. And they also have an add-on. So this is the Love of Spring dies, and they coordinate with each of these Paper Pumpkin kits. And they're $12 for this set of dies. There's 4 dies in there. And the neat thing about it is, if you order a 3-month prepaid subscription to Paper Pumpkin, you get a choice in the celebration catalog, a $50 choice. If you order a 6-month, you get 2 choices. And if you order a year, you get 4 choices of $50 choices. So if you subscribe to Paper Pumpkin, I would almost stop your subscription and order a prepaid, because you get the benefit of free products with that rather than month by month. It's what I do. I don't do a month by month. I order the prepaid so I can enjoy celebration free products while because I'm going to get them anyway. It's just my thing. So, so yeah, that's my suggestion. Oh, another thing that I tell people is when you're choosing celebration products, if you want a stamp set and paper, but you can only afford one, choose the paper first. The paper tends to run out faster than the stamp sets because Stampin' Up! Makes their own stamp sets. So, so yeah, that is a tip on celebration. Always go for the paper or the gems or the dies first because they sell out faster than the stamp sets. So here's the dies that coordinate with the Jungle Pals stamp set. So that's a $100 order. That's a $50 item. So you get earned free. All right, that's it, I think, for that. Let's get into door prizes. So last week's prize was the Scenic Garden stamp set for sharing and the, let's see, Enamel Dots Essentials. So this is for commenting. So the winners are, I don't know if they're on yet, Marsha Harlemert and Barb Keller. So congratulations, gals. I have messaged you both. I need your mailing address so I can send these prizes to you. Thank you for commenting and sharing on last week's video. If you enjoy my videos, I would appreciate you getting the word out and sharing with your friends, either privately or whatever. So yeah, I can put you in the drawing. All right, this week's prize is a set of gems. These are opaque adhesive back gems, and I thought they were appropriate for Valentine's. There's some purples and red and a white in these gems. I don't know if you can see them with that reflection, but they're opaque adhesive back gems, a little bit faceted. And then I have a set of cards. Now this was a kit that I offered, I don't know, last year maybe? And there are cards and envelopes that match. So this is a set of 5 cards with envelopes. This is for sharing this video today. You'll be in the drawing for that. Some nice all-occasion cards, and then of course gems for next week. Okay, don't forget to check out my card kits to go on my shop. I have a certain amount available of the, let's see, Be Mine and the Lighter Than Air balloons. So they're going fast, and I'm actually putting them on my blog starting tomorrow, so then they'll start to go. So if you haven't gotten them and you want them, be sure to check out my flowerbugshop.com for either my glue stands, I have some retired product and tutorials, and of course my card kits to go. So I think we're ready to go with the cards. All right, I think, oh, you know what I did forget? Hold on a minute. I'm going to get a piece of scrap paper. I'm going to be brayering today, and I kind of like to not make a mess on my my grid paper here. All right, so how many of you have been intrigued by this set of dies? It's called Thoughtful Moments, and it has dies and an embossing folder in it. So I ran a simple piece of white cardstock through here. Now this is my sample sheet that I have on my display board. So this is the dies with an inking, and I'm going to show you that technique in just a little bit. This is my first try at these dies, and they turned out so beautiful, so perfectly inked and highlighted, and they're raised. You can't see it probably on the video, but they are textured and inked. Really cool. And these little side, little tiny dies are also included in here. They're on this sheet right here. But I have the main die right in here, and I purposely ran a plain white piece of cardstock through with the embossing folder and the dies all at the same time. So the hybrid dies or embossing folder has a die that coordinates with it, and you actually run it through let's see. It's always a challenge to get it in the right place, but it's pretty easy. So it sets right in there and it really doesn't move. So for this, all I did was add that in there, put my white sheet in there, and I try not to put the white sheet in the groove. It's hard on your folder if you have cardstock in that fold line. Then I did this and I ran it through. So I got these plain white. Now I'm gonna show you something. And then, I mean, this I usually just throw away. But what you can do with these is, I think I will try to celebrate this. I'm going to use Pebble Path ink and my brayer. This is our new brayer. And there is, on this brayer, there are some longer metal pieces, and that allows you to set it down without the brayer itself hitting your workspace. If you set it this way, the brayer is actually on your workspace, but this is kind of a little lift that keeps it off. Okay, so I'm going to do these two and ink up my brayer. Now when you're inking your brayer, you don't use that side. You always lift it up and use the side without this point because you won't get onto your ink pad very well. And I choose not to do it on this side, but this side, since it's wider. So just back and forth, kind of a rotating lift motion. And it's not going to be perfectly even. You can see there's some little, I guess, darker areas. It depends on your ink and how well inked your ink pad is. But the difference between, here are a couple, let's see if I can find a get well or celebrate. Okay, so this is done the way I'm going to show you next, but this is another option. I don't want to get those in there. So with a really light hand, you go over these, and I'm not having any pressure. Not any pressure at all. I'm just kind of letting it's very important that you do it that way. And you will also want to rotate, because I can see that I'm missing a few in the beginning. Now it is hitting. This is not a perfect solution, but because it does hit some highs, but it's really cool. Okay, I'm gonna lay this aside while we compare this, and I'm going to show you this technique next. Okay, so there is the difference. Now you can see I got a little bit of an edge there, tiny little bit here, so it's not as precise as this method, but it's bolder. Does that make sense? Yeah, it's bolder. So I'm going to save these. I have started a little bin, and with different colors. Now you can see here is the thank you. And here, let me find another. Do I have another thank you in here? It doesn't look like. Oh yeah, right here, the blue one. So you can see it's much bolder. So you can make a choice. Now when you have something that has a large indent space, this technique going over the finished white or solid color can get in those little large spaces. So smaller spaces works a little bit better than the large spaces for this technique. But honestly, the light hand is what works for this. So if you are really fussy, I would trim. In fact, I did on one of them that I did recently. I think it was this one. I had some extra on here and I just trimmed it off. I would probably trim that, just kind of smooth that over, and nobody's going to know that you trimmed those little extra pieces. And if there's an area like the E, I would just use my marker and fill that in rather than keep going over, because inevitably I'm going to get some of these open areas or the edges. So, you know, it's up to you how precise you want to be. All right, so that's that technique with the folder. Now we're going to do the other one. Okay, now we're going to ink right on the brayer, on the embossing folder. Now I'm going to ink on the label side. Where Stampin' Up has their label on it, that's the one you want to ink on. That's the one that will be in the front of your, when you have the die cuts. Okay, so I'm going to ink up my entire brayer and move it from side to side. And I'll do this a couple times. So another kind of a light hand, but it does not matter if you get some ink outside of the, like you can see right here. Can you see that? I got ink there. When I first did this, I thought, oh my, this is gonna be a mess. I'm not gonna like it. I'm getting ink outside of the words and on the other side. It just does not matter. Honestly, now I'm trying to be really thorough so I can show you a good final result. The edges I tend to lose like down at the bottom, and I've done this where I don't quite get it done all the way. I think I'm pretty good though. Maybe make sure that C is good. Okay, so set this aside. I'm probably done with that brayer. Now to clean this, you will just run it under water. I just go to my sink and I clean this, I clean that, and I do this, and I lay my towel out, and I lay this, and I press the towel over, and it just comes out beautiful. It does not stain. Of course, I'm using water-based ink. That is very important. Let's close this. Very important. Okay, so now we're going to add this first and get it in the right place. I usually go by the hello. That's the largest one, so I can see that. And I'm just going to lay that in there and kind of touch it until it doesn't move. And then I know it's nestled in there correctly. Okay, then I'm going to add this, my paper. And yes, the die cut is right inside there. And I'm going to keep some pressure on that while I bring over my die cut machine, cut and emboss machine. All right, so I just need to keep that situated. Now, unfortunately, I cannot find my other platform. This is the old platform, but it works. But this plate right here, number 4 from the annual catalog, is what you want for easy layering for our not just the hybrid, but our 3D embossing folders. They work so well in here. You don't have to figure out which, it's really tight, which layer to add. I'm doing it awkward because my hand is, but oh, I have the edge on the side. That's why it's going so hard. I had this a little too close. Okay, so, but yeah, this plate number 4 is in our annual catalog. And it is the easy layer for your, they're already coming out, for your 3D embossing folders and of course the hybrid folders. Okay, we'll move that aside and flip. And as you can see, I had kind of a mess on the outside of my pieces, but that all came out. And yeah, I probably have a little bit of ink on here. I'll just run that under water and get it cleaned up. It's not a big deal. So, but they come out, oh, I missed that. That somehow did not get cut. I wonder if it's because I was so close to the edge. But I'll just take a scissors. I won't run it through again. It's really close. I'll get that cut out. Of course, on live camera, that's how it works. All right, I don't know if this will help to put it on white so you can see, but look at all the words that you get at one time. Isn't that cool? I am just so impressed with this hybrid embossing folder. It's called Thoughtful Expressions, and it's in the spring catalog. And it goes, I think it's 38 something for this and the die, and so it goes a long way towards a free choice when you choose for celebration. So yeah, I thought it's just super cool, and they're all ready to go. And this is Pebble Path ink, which looks like a brown, almost a black. So I can have quite a few in here ready to go, and just pick, I mean, depending on your card colors, but you could go a long way towards adding, oh, you know what? I wish I could try this, but my brayer, I only have one. But what about if I now, after I did this, and I have the outline, if I brayered it in a lighter color like petal pink, it would have both the outline and the inside a two-tone. I might have to try that. It's almost tempted to go wash my brayer. In fact, I'm going to do it. It'll only take me a second. Hold on. Okay, we're going to see if this works. Just thought of it. So I'm not sure. I mean, you could certainly use a bold color, but I had petal pink right beside me, and we're gonna try it. We'll just try one. Light hand. Ooh. I might have to do it a few times. I'm missing some portions of it, but it's not bad. I don't know why it's so spotty in some of these areas. I hate to go over it too much, because then I'll inevitably get into the deeper portion of that. But that's pretty cool. I think it could use a little fine tuning. It looks like either my ink. There we go. It's a little bit better. It's a little bit bolder than I would like for a soft color, but that works, doesn't it, for a two-tone? Okay, all right, that was worth trying. Okay, now we'll get to the card. That's the technique. Now we'll get to the card. Okay, so I shared, excuse me, get a little bit of a drink. I shared this card on my Zoom. This is a card from my friend Susie. It's a gift card holder, and I thought it was just so intriguing. She comes up with these on her own. She just said, well, I want a gift card. How can I make a gift card holder? So she's just amazing at Funfold. If you haven't started following her, Susie Wood, you can just type in Susie Wood blog. Yes, that's true, Donna. Thank you. It will lighten up as it dries. But so I wanted to case this. So there's her card. Now here is my case using different designer paper. So she used Poetic Expressions, Misty Moonlight, and Boho Blue. And I used Misty Moonlight and Boho Blue and a little bit of Fresh Freesia here. Because, and here I added one of my die cuts inside and outside. And on this one, I layered a solid color underneath the inked embossed greeting. Then a few little flowers around it in the same dies. So these dies, oh, let's see if I have them. Yes. They are the Thoughtful Expressions dies. Now this is, it's a little confusing, Thoughtful Moments hybrid, and these are Thoughtful Expressions. And I have the stamp set that matches some of these dies on the way. I didn't order it right away, I just wanted these dies. So I did not have the stamp set to coordinate with today's project. I think this is one of in that stamp set, the Thoughtful Expressions set. But, so that's my first sample. Now I'm gonna make a totally different one. So I'm going to make this in front of you so you see, and I'm changing up. I have some little flower dies here to the, let's see, the name of this paper is, let's see, those papers right there. I have it written down. Softly Stippled. These two papers right here. It's a beautiful set of papers, and I should have brought the whole thing over, but I can share it, and it's, everybody is saying when they see it, it is not at all like they see in the catalog. So this is the Softly Stippled, and when they see it, they actually ordered it. I've had a couple clubs and people here lately, and they're like, oh, that is so much better than in the catalog, which is very commonly said for our products. Unfortunately, they just can't make everything extra large. in our catalogs, so to see. All right, so we're going to start with cutting this and doing that, the whole split front thing. So what you want to decide is, this is my front. I already score. I'm going to use my bone folder and make that mind. All right, so I want this cut. So that's where you kind of have to decide. Now, I was thinking, well, does it really matter if this is the wider part and it lifts up on that side? No, I don't think it matters at all. If you split and had the narrow side over here. In fact, I'm almost tempted to do that just to see. Then the gift card would go this way. I'm going to try it. Okay, so I want the 2.5 on this side. So we're gonna try that just to see. Okay, so you have to score first. That's very important to score first. I'm at the 2.5 mark. Bring my trimmer blade down here. Yep, I'm gonna do it the opposite way. Hopefully this won't make a difference, and go right up to that score line. Okay, that's what we did. We did it the opposite. We'll see what happens here today. Okay, we'll move those over. So this is the inside. So what you want to do to make this a gift card holder is add, not too much. You want to leave it. Boy, I can't glue a straight line here today. And there is our gift card. Okay. So here is the inside, and I can glue that down because I was going to use one of my greetings, so it won't matter. I won't have to, I always say stamp first before you glue down, but it will not matter because I'm going to use one of my die cuts for the inside. This is Pebble Path, and I'm adding Petal Pink to this. So we're going to go ahead and adhere these layers together. I really like the texture of this paper right here. It's really pretty. Okay, so I decided this paper comes plain. There's no color to it. It's this without the little bit I sponged there. So I decided to add Petal Pink to these flowers to bring the color together. I know, it is. Susie is so amazing at Fun Folds. And she's so generous with me. She knew that my swaps were going to be late for my Zoom last Friday, and so she hurried and sent me a whole bunch of the cards that she had just made, and this was one of them. She's just so generous, and so lucky to have her as a friend. She's just amazing, and what a designer. I mean, she does not like to copy, which is unlike me. I'm kind of a copier. I like to change it up, but I don't mind copying. It's not something I'm comfortable with it, just as long as I give credit. Okay, did I get all the flowers? This is a sponge dauber and Petal Pink ink. I think that's pretty good. I don't want to get into the leaves. Okay, and a lot of this will not be showing anyway, as you'll see. Okay, so, and remember, all my projects, I will have a project sheet. No, that doesn't look good. I'll have a free project sheet next week on my blog. It's always the week after, and my blog is flowerbook.net. So I hope that you subscribe so you get all my blog posts. It is flowerbook.net, and on the right side there is a little get email updates, and you add your email address to that, and then you will get my blog posts with the dimensions, the free project sheets, the video links. I post Monday through Friday. So yeah, and then this is going to go on here. Okay, we can do that. So it's going to cover up. Now I'm going to make it even, top to bottom, side to side. Looks pretty good. Oh, don't wiggle. That glue does give you some wiggle room. Okay, now these layers, these are from the beautiful Thoughtful Expressions dies, yes. So I used the second largest and the third largest here. And I don't have to stamp because we're using my, my die cuts. So yeah, I knew I was going to love these dies. They're very feminine, I think, with the stitching. Okay, so here is the thank you, and I cut out one in Petal Pink, and I'm going to layer it and drop it. I think I'm going to, I'm not sure if I should raise it on one side. I think that's what I'll do, is like that. Okay. I'm not going to get too close to any edges because a little bit up here. I like to smear my glue, and then there's no leaking, there's less leaking of my glue. Okay, I'll go right on there. So first we're going to add this. It fits right in there, just barely. And you can choose which direction you want your little scallopies to be. So I want it to stay within the paper, so I did it this way. All right, and you know, I don't even know if I have to pop that up because it's so layered already, but it probably, well, I'm gonna pop it up. I do love to use our dimensionals. And these are the minis. Go a lot further than the regulars. Mini dimensionals. And then just peel those off. That got a little close to the edge. I think I have to move that one. And usually if you're careful, you can move it. Okay. All right, so here's, and I want it in an angle like that. You could do it straight, but I think it's meant to be at a little bit of an angle. Now I have all these other little die cuts. This is one of my favorites. I love that. It's part of this die set, Thoughtful Expressions. It's right here. I don't know if it'll fit in here, but I might use it inside. So here you can add, Susie added, and I copied her. I'm happy to give her the credit. She had a little bit of that leaf, and that is in the die set right here. I think that'll look good there. And then I have another one, another little one, maybe up here. And then I have these flowers, and I'm going to show you a tip on those flowers. So first I'll add these. Little bit of just smears. You don't need to add glops. Smears are the way to go, and then you won't have that leaking. Oh, don't. Oh yeah, I can glue it here. On this card, I had glue here, and then my card wouldn't open. I had a glue on this, so I had to lift it up using my adhesive eraser, and I added some embossing buddy to remove that because it was too delicate to try and remove the glue on there with the adhesive remover. So I just patted my powder embossing buddy on there, and it takes away the adhesive. Love that tip. Sometimes you have to figure out what to do about a mistake. Okay, now these flowers, I'm going to get my take your pick tool, and this is the one I usually keep on here, although there's another end that comes with your take your pick tool, and I'm going to put that on there, screw it in, and this is the stylus end. So I have on my, under my grid paper, oh no, I forgot to use the layer. Do you think I can get that out? I purposely added a second layer. Nope, can't do it. And I glossed it over. Well, I could do it like this, couldn't I? That would be interesting. I'm going to do it. I set that aside. Now on her card, she had 3 layers. On this card, I only had 1 layer. So let's see. Yeah, it doesn't show on the front, but that's okay. Then more of my paper shows on that side. So I don't mind that. But you see what I mean? She had 3, I had only 2, and I decided to do 3 on here. That looks all right. I don't mind that. Okay, getting back to these, this is a big piece of fun foam that I got from Hobby Lobby. I will say that out loud. And it fits our grid paper beautifully. So this is what I use when I am trying to emboss or deboss. I don't know what it is called when you do this, but I take my stylus and I just rub it in the center of these flowers, and then it pops up the, oh, that one was that upside down? No, too late now. Okay, and just run it in the center and all the little petals kind of pop up. It's so cool. All right, so now I can add a few of these cute little flowers on this card wherever I want. And I might just go with 3 because otherwise it might get a little busy. So then I just take a dot of glue. Oh, you know what I'm going to do first is add my gems. Now on this card I added, boy, I don't have much left, but these are the adhesive backed solid gems from the annual catalog. Has a little boho blue in here. And for this card, I didn't have anything that matched well, and I thought that our iridescent pearls, basic jewels, would go well with that. So I'm going to add them first, because if I don't, then I'm working with a wet glue situation, and then they'll probably move if I do it later after I glue them. Okay, so, and these are so nice. As you can see, I colored them with a blends marker. So you can add color to these anytime you want if you have blends or permanent markers. All right, so then I think I'll add one. Oh, I think I'm going to do one right there. So I always add my glue to the card and not the little item that I'm adding, because now I can lift this up. Actually, I'm going to just do that and drop that right on the glue. Kind of just press. Yeah, take your pick. If you don't have a take your pick tool, I highly recommend. I love the putty end because it allows me to pick things up. And it's almost like a tweezers, only a little more friendly because you don't have to worry about it, about how you grab it. Okay. All right, so there's the front of the card. Oh, I forgot something. I also added, you know, I just can't quit. I love to embellish. It's one of my things. I like to keep adding more and more layer. I have to restrain myself often, but this is a Wink of Stella pen, and you can kind of add a little highlight to your raised texture on these cards if you want to. And did you know that if you go over twice, it's more shimmery? So Wink of Stella is really subtle. If you're looking for a lot of glitter, this is not the way to go, but this is a subtle glimmer. So I don't know if you can see in the lighting how that shimmers. All right, so the inside, I would add a greeting, and then I might, oh, you know, it doesn't work. Doesn't quite work. But I might add some of these, but I'm not going to do it right now. You get what I mean. So here is the gift card holder and the inside of that card. So different depending on your designer paper, right? Okay, I'm calling that the vertical, I should call it vertical split gift card is what I think I'm going to call that. All right, moving on to the next project. I have 2 today, and this is a very simple fun fold I think you're going to like. I'm going to show you the inspiration for it. It was another swap. This one was by Tracy Jacobs. See how it just is the front of the card. This is a solid, it doesn't open. The blue, the Misty Moonlight, but this opens. Very easy, very sweet. It really makes the most of your designer paper. So I'm going to change it up a little bit. Okay, I have my parts and pieces. See if I can put all my pieces in the right place this time. And I am featuring, she used that, the Softly Sophisticated. This is a celebration set, and it comes with an embossing folder. So this embossing folder is so pretty. She used it on hers. You probably can't see it because it's dark, but maybe you can see it on my bubble bath layer. So it's really, it's almost like a chain effect. It's very subtle, very, it must be what they consider sophisticated. I think it's very delicate. Okay, so that's the bundle that we're using today. And I made this card. This was Tracy's card, and this was my sample. And what I did, instead of a full layer, I die cut the Flight and Airy, which is what she used, embossing folder with the largest die in the rectangle dies here. Okay, so that's what I did, and I'm doing the same thing on this one, only a different color. I'm using some boho blue. Okay, so let's get started. So the easy thing is to add your embossed layer, and this is basically my card base so it's the embossed area is 4 inches by 5 1/4, and of course the finished card A2 size is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. There's my base layers. Then we can add this. So I can see I scored it a little off, so that's going to be my underside. It's easier to have your underside scored a little bit shorter than the top, because then you can grab it, it opens nicely. Okay, that's just going to get layered right on here. And by the way, this piece, even though this will be a free project sheet next week. Oh, thanks, Babette. I know they oh, you ordered those, Edie? Awesome. Yeah, they're wonderful dies. I highly recommend them. Okay, so this is 3 1/4 by 9, scored at 4 1/2. Okay, 3 1/4 by 9, scored at 4 1/2. So this will go on there, but I'm going to add ribbon first. So this is the Flight and Airy, which is a lot of people's first pick from Celebration. If you like delicate and floral, this is going to be for you. This pretty paper. Now, as you can see here, I could use Lost Lagoon because some of the flowers were Lost Lagoon, also some of the petal pink in there. Here she used Misty Moonlight because the bird was Misty Moonlight, and I chose to use boho here because the birds have some boho in them. Okay, so I can't add that. I need to use my... When it keeps popping up like that, it kind of drives me a little bit crazy, so I have to make it mind with my bone folder. Okay, so I'm going to switch it out. On this card, I used the pink, the Bubble Bath, and this is the 3/8 inch sheer ribbon combo pack. There's actually 3 ribbons in this combo pack, and they're so beautiful. But so that's what I used on this card, and that's Bubble Bath. But on this one, I think I'm going to use the carryover, the silver, which is what she used. This is a carryover from the, missing my paper snips. I've got another one right here. From the holiday catalog, this is a carryover. So I'm going to do that and then cut another piece. This is how, I've showed you this before, how I like to do my ribbons. So, yeah. The shorter piece for me goes around the longer piece, so I make a little cross. Then I wrap the shorter piece around and tie my bow. Now, why do I do this off of the paper and not just right on the paper? Because inevitably, this is the front of my bow. But if I turn it over, I have a beautiful knot here. And now I can tighten that and slide it any which way I want. So I want it right there. So now, the problem lies in remembering which is a tail end and which is the one you're wrapping. But when you pull it, you'll see. You'll see which one it is. Okay, so then I do that, and I add adhesive to the back to press my ribbons on. I'm kind of fussy about what my knot looks like, so that's why I do that. And then I'll just finish and add more adhesive to once the oh, I just put it on the wrong side. Hold on, I can fix that. Wow, how did I do that? Now it's full of adhesive back there and then sticking. So I just have to find my ends and press those on. And now, oh, that looks terrible. Okay, press that on, and adjust my bow. I've never had that happen before. Okay, that looks pretty good. All right, very sticky. I tend to use the Seal Plus a little bit more than I use the Seal, the plain Seal. It's stronger and it breaks off and isn't as sticky. I mean, yeah, I'm sorry, not sticky, isn't as pull-aparty. I mean, you get those long strings sometimes on that one. This one's a little easier to use, but it holds quite well. So, but as you can see, I could remove that ribbon. It wasn't a problem. Okay, and then our greeting's going to go here. And we're going to use, oh, shoot, I didn't bring my boho blue over here. I wonder if I can use, what do I have? Lost Lagoon. It might work. That's the ink I have. I forgot to bring my boho over, but I might not put it on all the way. We'll see. So this, once again, is the Softly Sophisticated bundle that comes with an embossing folder, and it's $100 choice, so you get it. Yeah, you're welcome, Joan. I do love working with ribbon. I have lots of tips and tricks on ribbon. We'll see if this looks good. I think actually it looks okay. I don't mind that color on there. Okay, so I'm going to leave that out because we're going to use it again. And I'm going to get my dimensionals out. Now when I go over ribbon, I don't like my greetings to float. So I try and avoid putting my dimensionals where the ribbon is going to be, because otherwise it doesn't adhere to the card base and you end up with this kind of wiggly piece. Oops, better do it the right side. So I'm going to get my my tail out of the way in case there's adhesive or dimensionals under there. Okay, so there we go. There's the front. Now for the inside. I didn't show you the inside of this one. Maybe I did. So you can see I'm going to use these two pieces right here on this. So we will do our leaves in, well, I guess it's going to be Lost Lagoon because that's what I have out here. But again, the designer paper has greens and blues and it all works. It's pretty friendly that way. Lost Lagoon is one of the colors in the designer paper. So we will stamp the leaves first. This is what they call a two-step stamp. So you have 2 steps to make it a complete image. Close this one up. You were busy stamping, Joan, huh? And you missed the beginning. Well, there's always time to catch up and watch the replay. This is Bubble Bath. And what you want to use for placement here is this bud. There's a tiny little bud right here, and that goes on this one. And they put it in the direction on the stamp set so you know how they fit. So these flowers fit in the same vertical way as this one, and this one with that bud and the 2 flowers fit right there. So that's how you can look through with these photopolymer stamps and get it in exactly the right place. So isn't that beautiful? Yeah, I like this stamp set a lot. And the greetings are really, really nice. Okay, so I didn't add any gems to this one. There we have the kind of flip, what do I call this one? Front flap card. Yeah. So with the Softly Sophisticated and Flight and Airy designer paper. And also the Thoughtful Expression dies because they're just fun. All right, I think that's it for today's video. It had lots to share, lots to teach. I hope you enjoyed it and learned a few things. And if you did, share it, comment, and let me know you liked the video. I'd appreciate that. All right, if you need to order anything, here are my host codes, and there is my blog, and that's my shop for my kits and tutorials. All right, everybody, have a great week, and stamp something and mail something. Mail a card to somebody. They will appreciate it. All right, have a great week. Bye-bye.